You walk into the gym, drop your bag, and hit the floor for a nice long hamstring stretch. Feels like the responsible thing to do, right? Wrong. What you just did wasn't a warm-up, it was a signal to your muscles to stand down. You're loosening fibers that aren't ready, shutting down the power you're about to need, and stepping into your workout with the brakes already on. That static stretch you thought was helping? It's quietly draining your strength, dulling your explosiveness, and throwing off your control. But let's be clear. Stretching itself isn't the problem. The issue is when you do it. Stretch right before training, and you're undercutting your performance. Do it after, when your muscles are warm and primed for recovery, and it becomes your secret weapon. The exact same stretch can either help or hurt you, depending on timing. That difference isn't subtle. It's the line between making steady progress and hitting setbacks. Here's where most people slip up. They're not wrong for stretching. They're just doing it at the worst possible moment. Before a workout, your muscles are cold, stiff, and not ready to be yanked like rubber bands. Holding deep static stretches in that state doesn't prep your body, it blunts it. Muscles are like coiled springs right before a lift or sprint. You want that tightness. It's part of what gives you power, stability, and control. Static stretching bleeds that tension out. It literally reduces the force your muscles can produce and throws off communication with your nervous system, slowing your reaction time and opening the door to injury. This isn't just gym lore. There's data to back it up. Studies show static stretching before exercise can decrease strength output by up to 8%. That might not sound dramatic, but in the gym, 8% can be the difference between hitting your lift clean or missing it from exhaustion. Coaches and experienced lifters have seen it over and over. When you stretch before you lift, your body doesn't snap into position, it lags. The edge just isn't there. Let's also address one of the biggest myths out there, the idea that stretching before a workout prevents injuries. It's been repeated so many times it feels like common sense, but it's not backed by science. Stretching cold muscles doesn't protect you. In fact, it makes them more vulnerable. What really prevents injury is preparing the body to move, getting blood flowing, activating key muscles, and rehearsing the movements you're about to perform. That's how you create stability and control when it matters. Think of the average gym goer. They walk in, sit down, stretch their hamstrings, twist side to side a couple times, and then start loading the bar. No activation, no movement prep. It feels productive, but it's doing more harm than good. Without proper warm-up, you're not easing into performance, you're jumping into risk. Now, here's the smarter approach. Instead of forcing passive stretches at the start, switch to dynamic warm-ups. These are controlled, active movements that mimic your training. Think leg swings, hip openers, arm circles, bodyweight squat stuff. That gets the blood pumping, elevates your core temperature, and activates your nervous system. That's how you prepare your body to move with strength, speed, and stability. It's energizing, not relaxing. You're not just warming up, you're turning your entire system on. And it doesn't take long. Just 5 minutes of focused movement can flip the switch. Do some walking lunges, glute bridges, high knees, maybe even a few light sets of the exercise you're about to do. It's not about exhausting yourself, it's about giving your body a heads up that intensity is coming. Compare that to what happens when you stretch after your workout. Whole different story. At that point, your muscles are loaded with blood, warm, pliable, and far more responsive. That's when static stretching becomes effective. You're not prepping to perform. You're unwinding. You're releasing built-up tension, restoring range of motion, and starting the recovery process. Same stretch, different timing, completely different impact. Stretching after a session isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's a tool that helps you move better, recover faster, and train harder next time. This applies outside the gym too. When you consistently skip post-workout stretching, it shows up in daily life. Movements feel stiff. Bending over or reaching up feels tight. That's not just fatigue, that's a loss of mobility. Over time, tight muscles pull on your posture, restrict your movement, and affect how you carry yourself. But when you build post-workout, stretching into your routine, everything flows better. You move like a strong, athletic human, not a machine running on rusted joints. And here's where it gets even deeper: your nervous system. Every rep you lift, every sprint you run, relies on clear communication between your brain and muscles. Pre-workout, you want that system sharp and responsive. But when you start your session with long static stretches, you're telling your nervous system to relax. That's the exact opposite of what you want before a heavy set or explosive movement. You're lowering muscle responsiveness, reducing joint stability, and setting yourself up to underperform, or worse, get hurt. Most injuries don't happen out of nowhere. They happen because of poor prep. Cold muscle underload? That's a tear waiting to happen. An unstable joint during a lift? One wrong angle and you're sidelined. The danger isn't always immediate either. You might not feel the mistake during the session, but a strain today becomes an injury tomorrow. That's why the warm-up matters. It's not extra, it's essential. Now think about what your body needs after a workout. Your nervous system has been firing on all cylinders. Your heart rate's high, adrenaline's pumping, and your body's still in go mode. That's not how you want to walk out of the gym. Post-workout stretching helps flip the switch from fight or flight to rest and recover. It slows your breathing, lowers your heart rate, and calms your system down. And that's not just helpful, it's essential. That parasympathetic shift improves sleep, boosts mood, and accelerates recovery. You're not just stretching muscles, you're resetting your entire system. And if you're training like an athlete or trying to perform like one, this is even more important. Quick movements, reaction time, acceleration. All of that relies on a nervous system that's responsive, not sluggish. You can't afford to dampen that fire with the wrong prep. Prime your body with movement. Recover with stretching. That rhythm creates results. If this is hitting home so far, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It helps more than you think, and I've got way more coming to keep your training dialed in. There's also a mental edge to stretching. Those final few minutes don't just cool your body, they reset your mindset. You went to battle with the iron. Now you breathe, relax, and bring things full circle. It's a pause button for your nervous system and your mind. That short transition builds focus, clarity, and calm before you step back into the real world. Skip that cooldown though, and the issues start to build. Tightness lingers, range of motion shrinks, movements become clunky, and soon your body starts compensating. Hips, shoulders, hamstrings, they all get thrown out of balance. Over time, that's how injuries creep in. But take just a few minutes to stretch after your session and you're resetting that balance. You're giving your body space to move properly again. That's not just smart. It's what keeps you training hard without breaking down. It's not about flexibility for the sake of flexibility. It's about unlocking strength through usable mobility. When your range of motion is clean, your lifts get stronger. When you can move freely, your joints last longer. You're not forcing your body, you're setting it up to perform. And here's the good news. It doesn't take a 30-minute yoga class. Just a few minutes of targeted stretching after training makes a noticeable difference. Hold each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on relaxed breathing and don't bounce. Target the muscles you just worked. Quads after squats, lats after pull-downs, hamstrings after RDLs. That's where it matters most. You're not trying to hit everything, just the key areas you've just loaded. Think of it as your body's reset button. Still think it's not worth it? Let's get real. Everyone's busy. You finish your workout and your mind's already racing toward the next thing. Work, food, calls, life. Stretching feels skippable. But here's the catch. Those 3 to 5 minutes you skip today might cost you 3 weeks off later. Recovery isn't a luxury. It's how you keep showing up. Target the muscle groups you just trained. Give them time to release, reset, and recharge. You'll thank yourself next session. And if you're planning to train for life, not just the next few months, this matters more than ever. As you age, your recovery slows down, your range of motion tightens, and the little tweaks take longer to bounce back from. Stretching post-workout is your safeguard. It keeps the machine running smooth. The more time you put into recovery now, the more years you get out of your training later. Consistency is where real progress lives. Anyone can push hard once. But the people who stay in the game long-term are the ones who manage their bodies just as well as they train them. And that's where habits like stretching after a session quietly pay off. It's easy to overlook. But those extra few minutes, they're your insurance. They keep tightness from turning into pain, and pain from turning into setbacks. They help you walk out of the gym stronger than you walked in, not just today, but every time. Now flip that around. If you keep doing static stretches before you train, you're not just wasting time. You're chipping away at your training quality. Less force output, more joint strain, higher risk of tweaks and misfires. You might not feel it after one session, but over time, it adds up. That's the cost of mistiming your recovery tools. Stretching isn't about going through the motions. It's about using the right tool at the right time to support your goals. Because this is what training smart actually looks like. It's not just lifting heavy or chasing a pump. It's understanding the rhythm of your body. You don't start your car on a freezing morning and immediately floor it. So why treat your body that way? Warm it up right, cool it down right. Respect the phases of training and you'll see better results across the board. Stretching is a tool. Use it with purpose. Move to activate. Stretch to recover. That's how you build progress that lasts. Everyone loves the burn, the grind, the effort. But real progress is built in the quieter moments, between the sets, after the last rep, in those small intentional habits that no one sees but everyone feels. That's where the edge is made. The strongest lifters don't just train harder, they train smarter. They know when to push and when to reset. And if you're serious about performance, growth, and longevity, get this part right. Because stretching isn't optional, it's the silent rep that makes all the others count.